In the world of modern aerial warfare, the most terrifying thing is not the roar of engines, but the deadly silence on the enemy's radar screen. It does not have the overwhelming speed of the F-22 Raptor, nor the aggressive, intimidating appearance of the Su-57 Felon. Yet the F-35 Lightning II is what makes even the most advanced air defense systems on the planet uneasy. Its power does not lie in what it carries beneath its stealth wings, but in what it possesses within its highly advanced electronic brain. An entity that does not merely fly, but thinks, connects, and dominates the electromagnetic spectrum. Welcome to the world of the F-35 Lightning II, a digital phantom, where every battle is already decided before the opponent even realizes who the attacker is. Subscribe to Airpower Control to stay updated with the latest in-depth analysis. To understand the F-35, we have to go back to the final years of the Cold War, when the Pentagon was facing a logistical nightmare. Each branch operated its own distinct aircraft. The Air Force had the F-16 and A-10. The Navy had the F/A-18, while the Marine Corps relied on the vertically taking off Harrier. Maintaining, servicing, and training for 4 or 5 different aircraft types created an enormous financial burden. From that reality, a bold and ambitious idea was born: the Joint Strike Fighter, JSF. A program aimed at creating a single aircraft, a unified airframe, capable of meeting the operational needs of the entire U.S. military and its allies. The original objective was clear: cost efficiency and standardization. By sharing up to 80% of components and software, the United States expected to cut billions of dollars in operating costs. But more importantly, it was about absolute integration. In a joint combat scenario, when every branch operates using the same digital language, overall combat power is multiplied. However, the true legacy of the JSF does not lie in cost savings. It lies in a fundamental shift in combat philosophy. Engineers at Lockheed Martin introduced a new concept. The F-35 is not an aircraft carrying a computer. It is a computer that happens to fly. In the era of modern air warfare, Mach 2 speed or extreme maneuverability are no longer the decisive factors. Instead, information has become the ultimate weapon. The F-35's design philosophy prioritizes the ability to collect, process, and distribute data above all else. It was built to function as a nerve center in the sky, where every bit of data from radar and sensors is fused into a perfect tactical picture. In other words, the F-35 is designed to win the information war before the pilot even needs to fire a missile. A historic shift, from purely mechanical machines to a stealth-enabled digital warfare platform. Although they share the same technological DNA, to meet the harsh operational demands from land to sea, the F-35 has evolved into 3 distinct entities. One airframe, but 3 high-end mechanical solutions. First, the F-35A, the machine that dominates the skies. This is the most common variant, designed for standard Air Force runways. With the lightest weight and the most optimized aerodynamic structure, the F-35A is the track athlete of the Lightning II family. Notably, it is the only variant equipped with an internal GAU-22/A25mm 4-barrel cannon, allowing it to engage in close combat when necessary. With a maximum load factor of up to 9G, the F-35A can execute aggressive maneuvers that the airframes of the other variants cannot withstand. Next, the F-35B, the magician of the Marine Corps. If there is one variant that challenges the laws of physics, it is the F-35B. To achieve short takeoff and vertical landing like a helicopter, it is equipped with the remarkable Rolls-Royce lift system. A massive lift fan positioned just behind the cockpit, directly connected to the main engine shaft, works in conjunction with a rear nozzle capable of rotating 90 degrees downward. Tens of thousands of horsepower are precisely vectored to lift a multi-ton machine and hold it suspended in the air. This is the strategic asset for amphibious assault ships, allowing the United States to deploy stealth firepower in locations without conventional runways. Finally, the F-35C, the seabird of the ocean. This variant is specifically designed for supercarriers. To withstand the violent impact of carrier landings and the immense force of catapult launches, the F-35C is reinforced with a highly durable landing gear system, featuring a dual-wheel nose configuration. Its wingspan is significantly increased to enhance lift at low speeds, and can be folded to save space on deck. With the largest internal fuel capacity among the three, the F-35C has the greatest endurance for long-range patrol missions over vast oceans. 3 variants, 3 roles, but 1 shared objective: to ensure that wherever it is, whether from inland bases, amphibious assault ships, or the open ocean, America's Lightning is always ready to strike. The power of the F-35 begins with silence. But stealth is not just an unusual shape, it is a perfect combination of physics and chemistry. The entire airframe is covered with RAM, radar-absorbent material, a high-tech sponge that absorbs radar energy instead of reflecting it. Combined with meticulously calculated angles down to the millimeter to scatter any remaining signals, the F-35 appears on enemy radar screens as nothing more than a small insect in the vast sky. If stealth is the shield, then the DAS AN/AAQ-37 system is the all-seeing eye. 6 infrared cameras positioned around the aircraft create a seamless 360-degree field of view. Imagine this: the pilot simply looks down through the floor of the aircraft, and the $400,000 helmet instantly displays real-time imagery of the ground below. With DAS, the aircraft becomes transparent, and no threat from behind or below can escape the pilot's awareness. Paired with DAS is the AN/APG-81 AESA radar. This is not just a conventional radar, it is a master of electronic warfare. The APG-81 can generate ultra-high-resolution ground maps, enabling target identification from beyond visual range. At the same time, it can emit narrow beams to disrupt the enemy's electronic systems while still maintaining the F-35's stealth profile. But what truly turns the F-35 into a legend is sensor fusion. In the past, pilots had to monitor dozens of displays and manually determine whether a signal was friend or foe. In the F-35, the electronic brain handles that process. It automatically collects data from all sensors, compares it against a global threat database, and presents the pilot with a single, clear, and intuitive tactical picture. The F-35 does not require the pilot to be a radar technician. It allows them to become a tactician. The aircraft processes the data. The pilot makes the lethal decisions. That is the peak of human-machine collaboration. The true power of the F-35 lies not only in what it can destroy on its own, but in how it multiplies the effectiveness of an entire military. In the era of network-centric warfare, the F-35 acts as a quarterback, directing the play and coordinating every move on the tactical chessboard. The key to this capability is MADL, Multifunction Advanced Data Link. Unlike older generation data links that are vulnerable to interception and geolocation, MADL uses highly directional, low probability of intercept waveforms. It allows a formation of F-35s to share the entire tactical picture, enemy positions, and weapon status with each other in near-total electromagnetic silence. The enemy may already be targeted, yet their radar sees nothing suspicious. This is where the quarterback role becomes decisive. In the densest air defense environments, where legacy aircraft like the F-15 or F-16 cannot penetrate, the F-35 moves forward like a phantom. It does not need to fire. It only needs to observe, identify targets, and transmit targeting data back through the network. Immediately, surface ships or heavy missile aircraft operating safely outside enemy engagement range can launch their weapons. The missiles fly toward the target, but their guidance is provided by the F-35 flying directly above the enemy. This is the concept of network-enabled long-range strike, allowing the United States to maintain overwhelming advantage without exposing high-value assets to danger. With the F-35, the battle space is no longer a collection of isolated units fighting independently. It becomes a unified entity, where information flows through digital arteries, and the F-35 is the central brain controlling it all. For many years, skeptics have called the F-35 a trillion-dollar disaster, too complex to fight. But the answer was not given in conference rooms. It was delivered in the skies set ablaze over the Middle East. In May 2018, the Israeli Air Force, IAF, made history by becoming the first force to deploy the F-35 in combat. They named it Adir, the Mighty One. Within a short period, Adir squadrons quietly penetrated some of the densest air defense networks in the world over Syria, bypassing advanced S-300 systems to strike military targets without leaving any trace on enemy radar screens. By September of the same year, the United States Marine Corps wrote the next chapter when it deployed the F-35B from the amphibious assault ship USS Essex to conduct airstrikes against Taliban targets in Afghanistan. This marked the first time the short takeoff and vertical landing variant engaged in combat, proving that the United States could deliver stealth firepower to even the most rugged terrain. Beyond that, the F-35 has demonstrated absolute air combat superiority in red flag exercises, where some of the world's best pilots converge. There, the F-35 delivered a shock with an almost unimaginable kill ratio, 20-1. This means that for every 20 enemy aircraft shot down, the US lost only one F-35. More strikingly, most opposing pilots reported being shot down before they could detect any signal on their radar. From destroying missile launch sites in Iraq to suppressing radar systems in Syria, the F-35 has proven a simple truth. In modern warfare, the side that possesses superior stealth and information dominance will define the rules of the fight. These achievements not only affirm the strength of Lockheed Martin, but also serve as a clear warning to any adversary considering a challenge to U.S. air superiority. The F-35 Lightning II may have had a controversial beginning, marked by cost overruns and technical challenges. But when viewed in the broader context of modern military evolution, it is difficult to deny that it has redefined what a fighter aircraft is. It is no longer just a combat platform. It is a technological ecosystem capable of continuous evolution. Over the next 40 years, as laser weapons and AI-driven drone swarms become standard on the battlefield, the F-35 will still remain relevant, not as an outdated dogfighter, but as a central command node orchestrating complex strike operations. With continuous software upgrades, the aircraft you see today will be exponentially more capable tomorrow. Ultimately, the legacy of the F-35 does not rest solely on combat victories or impressive statistics. It lies in rewriting the rules of engagement. It renders traditional concepts like dogfighting or raw speed comparisons increasingly obsolete. In the era of the Lightning II, control of the battle space belongs not to the fastest, but to the one who can see everything without ever being seen. Because in the world of the F-35, if you are lucky enough to see it, it means you lost long before that moment. What is your assessment of the Lightning II? Can it truly be considered a superweapon in modern warfare? Leave your perspective in the comments so we can analyze and debate it further. And if this video satisfied your demand for in-depth military knowledge, support the channel with a like, a share, and most importantly, subscribe with notifications enabled so you don't miss the next deep dive into air power strategy. Thank you for following Airpower Control. See you at the next flashpoint.